Ciao e benvenuto. What's he saying? All the funny words coming out of his mouth. Well, that's actually me trying to attempt to say hello and welcome in Italian. And I think that's enough of that. And that's what we're going to look at today. An Italian diesel locomotive by Lima. Now, Lima actually were dissolved in 2004 and bought up by Lima Hobbies. So Hornby actually bought up the likes of Lima, the French Model Railway Company, Juef, Electrotren, who do Spanish models, and then the Italian companies Lima and Rivarossi. And they are sold on the Hornby website under their own branding, but it's essentially Hornby. I think Hornby commissioned somebody to do these HO scale locomotives for them. So it's all European stock. So it's going back a good while now. I bought this locomotive, and it's roughly going back to about 2015. I happened to be looking at a chap's Model Railway YouTube channel by the name of Matt Slade, and the title of the video really intrigued me because he said it was the cheapest brand new locomotive that you can buy. And I had a look at the video and I thought, you know what, up to that point I was only kind of buying British rolling stock, and I said I've never really kind of even thought about buying European or American or locomotives from any other country. So I said, you know what, for the price it was, I'd take a punt on it, and bought it brand new. It was a ridiculously cheap locomotive on Hornby's website. Now I don't have the receipt, but I think it was around £25. Now that was sterling. You would not buy a locomotive for £24 or £25 brand new anywhere. And even at the time, Hornby Railroad was going for anywhere between the 70 and 100 euros. Certainly wouldn't buy a brand new locomotive, even the basic Hornby Railway today for that. You're looking at least 100 euros, 100 sterling I should say. So this was about 24-25 euros. So I said, you know what, I'll just take a chance on it. And it arrived safe and sound, and I stuck it on the track, and there was a few things that really, I was very surprised for that money. And I'll have a look at those things now. I'll run the locomotive. She runs pretty okay. Detail isn't too bad on it, and I'll have a look at the detail. We'll have a look at the running, and there's a few surprises with this locomotive. There really is, for the money that it was. Just showing you, this is not the box from the locomotive, even though it is the correct Lima line. So this is Lima Hobby line, and within the Lima range under Hornby now they also do Lima Expert, which would be the more expensive, higher detailed items, but this is the more kind of basic line. But I'll run through some of the features. You're going to be surprised. It was about £24-25 sterling brand new, and we'll have a look at them now. Now, as I say, this isn't the original box. I shouldn't even say box. This is not the original packaging. Now, the original packaging for this locomotive was a bit strange, to say the least. Just imagine an egg carton made out of 3-inch plastic, the toughest plastic that you can imagine. I literally had to take a scissors and cut this locomotive out of its packaging. It was strange, to say the least. I was literally performing gymnastics to do it. But apart from that, it was very well protected in that plastic packaging. so I don't have it anymore. So this locomotive is a class D445, and they served on, and they are still working in Italy, mostly running regional passenger trains. Some of them are quite short trains, they're only like 2 or 3 carriages, and sometimes they have what's termed a driving vehicle trailer at the other end of the train. So when the driver gets out of this locomotive cab, walks the other end of the train to the driving vehicle trailer, he can control the locomotive from the other end. And these were built in the 70s, and they continued building them for about 10 years. I think they started building them in 74, around that time, finished building them in 1988, and there was 150 of these locomotives built. So I think they were primarily for passenger use, but they on the main line, but then they were relegated to kind of regional trains. So they were built by Fiat, and I don't mean like Fiat as in the car company. It would be the same company, but it would be the heavy engineering division of Fiat. So it would be actually a Fiat diesel engine in that, and they proved very reliable. So it's really interesting having something like Fiat building the railway locomotives. But there you go. And in terms of the model itself, it's not bad. The detail on this for the money is pretty good. If you see, there's nice grills on it. Roof detail, not too bad. Reasonably good roof detail. You got the air horns, the exhaust, the radiator grills, all quite finely picked out. The bogies on this, I mean, they're intricate enough. You know, came with these vacuum pipes. The model has lights as well, 3 lights at the front, 3 lights in the back. They only work in the forwards direction. Doesn't have anything like spun buffers. It's not gone into that kind of detail. It's not that kind of model. But there's some really interesting features about this. The paintwork is quite nice. The running number is on the front, if I can pick it out. Hard to pick it out there. It's so small, this model, because it's HO scale. But I'll turn over the model and try and show you this. This is the first thing I noticed. I turn it around and try and zoom in. This actually has Riva Rossi stamped on the bottom. So it got me thinking maybe it is a Lima model, but for some strange reason Riva Rossi were commissioned to produce it, or maybe supply items for this model. I don't know, but it has Riva Rossi stamped on the underneath. It is a Lima locomotive. So for £24–25 you're getting a Riva Rossi locomotive. Lights, not bad detail, and the body of the locomotive actually comes off quite easily, and it has, it's hard to show you, it's very, very heavy, this motor. It has a centrally mounted motor going to gearboxes at either end. Now it doesn't have flywheels, but has a centrally mounted motor, and the whole chassis is cast metal. It's extremely heavy. Now it has all this circuitry, but it is not DCC ready. I really couldn't tell you, unless it's just for the lights. I'd say more than likely it's for the lights. So already for 24 or 25 pounds you've got a locomotive that's extremely heavy, reasonable detail, possibly made by Riva Rossi, no traction tires, powerful motor, very powerful motor, and when you see this running on a track, you're going to be surprised. It actually runs very well. Bit noisy, I can live with that, but it runs quite smoothly and can even run at very, very low speed. So that's incredible. You just wouldn't get that with a railroad model from Hornby. And here we are for £24–25 back in 2015. You could get a model like this. Now, as you can see, I have her on the track there, and I actually have this controller. I'm just going to set her off at a really, really slow pace just to show you what she can do. So if you look at the combi, she's actually set to about just below the 20 there. I just have to flick this switch and she'll fire into action, just to show you how slow this locomotive can actually really go. So flicker into action. A little bit of noise from her. You can see the 3 headlights there. It has those same headlights running in the direction. I just meant to say that it's in the Train Italia livery, which is a later livery. This locomotive would have originally served under what they call in Italy Favore dello Stato, which is basically translates to Italian State Railway. So what do you think, guys? For £25 sterling? Heavy locomotive, lights, no traction tyres, powerful locomotive, reasonable detail, runs very smoothly, a little bit noisy, nice paint job. Front windows are blanked out completely just to hide everything. You can see the front windows there, they actually kind of look like those 1960s foreign movies with the Italian guys wearing sunglasses. It's kind of appropriate, really. I kind of like the green and white with the red stripe. Certainly different. I think what's more important for me is value for money. I mean, you've got reasonable detail, but a very reliable motor. I don't have to have, you know, the most incredible detail on locomotives, but the locomotive looks a reasonable representation of the real locomotive, but runs very well. That's more important for me. It's just something a little bit different. So hopefully I'll have another video up soon enough. And until then, everyone take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Bellissimo.